guys! We're continuing our shiny review and fix series with the Gen 2 Pokemon. We'll be reviewing all 100 Pokemon introduced in this generation and making changes based on how difficult they would be to shiny hunt in a game like Scarlet and Violet, feedback I've heard online, and my own personal opinions. Let's get into it. The first Pokemon we're going to be looking at is the Chikorita line. These Pokemon have some mixed opinions, with some people liking their autumnal colors, while others seem to think these shinies are a bit meh, particularly with Meganium shiny. I think we could still keep the autumn theme for these Pokemon's shinies, while changing it up to make the colors a bit more distinct from the original color scheme. In Pokemon Stadium 2, Meganium had a different shiny with a bright purple flower. If we take inspiration from that, the line could look like this instead. Now we have the fire starters for this generation: Cyndaquil, Quilava, and Typhlosion. In Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, these Pokemon had bright magenta flames, but for some reason they were changed to look like the normal flames from Gen 3 onwards. I've heard many people say that they would really want these flames back, so here's what that would look like. I personally like the idea of also changing the markings to purple, because I think it matches the magenta a bit more, but I think either way, it would be great to see the flame color change back. And last but not least is the Totodile line. In the past, we had some polls voting for the best shiny starters in each generation. Feraligatr won the Gen 2 poll in a landslide. A lot of people really like these shinies, from the blue of the body changing to a more minty color, to the red of the spikes changing to a vibrant blue. These shiny gators have already won many of our hearts. Moving on to the Route 1 Pokemon, we're starting with Sentret and Furret. The pink of Furret's shiny just adds to the Pokemon's cuteness, but Sentret's shiny is a bit of a mixed bag for people. I think it'd be cute if Sentret got a more pink coloration to match its evolution, like this concept. I also changed the rings to be a red color, which gave this Pokemon a bit of a Valentine's Day vibe. Hoot Hoot has a very nice golden yellow shiny. Noctowl kind of keeps with this, but is a bit more greenish and dull compared to Hoot Hoot. Some people have a soft spot for this shiny regardless, because it was the first shiny we really got to see in the anime, and it was even on Ash's team. I think just some minor adjustments to the colors would keep fans who already have nostalgia for the shiny happy, while making those who aren't fans of it content. I think the colors just need to be a bit more warm and match Hoot Hoot's shiny a bit more closely. Lediba and Ledian have shinies that are just a bit too similar to their original color schemes. Ledian has a lot of Pokedex entries that reference the stars, and there are also beetles called yellow ladybirds, so why not give these Pokemon yellow shinies? These would really stand out when shiny hunting. Two other bug Pokemon from this gen are Spinarak and Ariados. Unlike their ladybug friends, these two spiders have shinies that are generally well liked by the community. The combination of blues and magentas look very nice. Crobat is a Pokemon with a shiny that fans either really like or strongly dislike. In our Gen 1 review and fix shiny Pokemon video, we changed the shinies for its pre-evolutions. So let's make a new shiny that matches those two. While Zubat and Golbat have green bodies with pink wings, Crobat's original shiny has a pink body with green wings. This new shiny follows the same conventions, with the red now going to the wings and the body changing to a dark purple. Other Pokemon that have pretty varied opinions when it comes to their shinies are Chinchou and Lantern. I do kind of like the green and blue in Chinchou shiny. It makes me think of creatures in the deep sea. But for those who aren't the biggest fans of these shinies, here's what I came up with. I gave these Pokemon orange shinies, since it's the first color I think of when I imagine anglerfish. We're now getting into a group of Pokemon that were introduced in Gen 2, baby Pokemon. The first of these little pre-evolutions is Pichu. Like Pikachu and Raichu, this shiny doesn't change a whole lot. Let's make this shiny white to match the shinies we came up with last time. Cleffa is next, and the only noticeable change is the green ears. We made Clefairy and Clefable yellow to match the stars in the sky, since the Pokemon have such a strong connection with space. So let's do the same with Cleffa here. The last baby for existing Pokemon for now is Igglybuff. Like its evolutions, its shiny is barely noticeable. Let's make it red, in reference to Screamtail. The only baby Pokemon with a whole new line this gen is Togepi. Togetic was also introduced this generation. While Togepi is well loved after its appearance in the anime, and Togetic is generally liked, These shinies don't share that sentiment. I haven't played Pokemon Go in a very long time, but I found out that there was an event to get the Togepi line with a flower crown. These Sakura flowers inspired these shinies. I think the colors work to reference the fairy typing these Pokemon now have. Natu and Xatu have shinies that don't change much from the originals. Pokemon Stadium 2 gave these Pokemon completely different shinies, with Natu having this nice teal, green, and peach color palette, and Xatu having a pink and purple color palette. I think either of these would be great for these two birds. I especially like the teal option. Mareep and its line are almost flawless. Mareep and Ampharos becoming pink looks very cute, but then there's Flaffy, who hardly changes. Since Mareep and Ampharos changed to pink to match Flaffy, I think it would be great if Flaffy's shiny was yellow to match the two of them. I was surprised to see how mixed reactions were to Blossom's shiny. I personally really like the colors this shiny has, but for the people who dislike this shiny, here's another option. I changed the colors so that the shiny would look more like Bloom and Vileplume. Meryl and Azumarill have fabulous shinies. Azumarill being a golden egg rabbit is my personal favorite of the two. Another Pokemon that has a great shiny is Sudowoodo. The red leaf ball finger things really makes this shiny stand out. Poliwag and Poliwhirl have some lackluster shinies, but Politoed's shiny really makes up for it. The blue and pink of this Pokemon really makes it different from the original. The Hoppip line is next and they all have pretty good shinies. No reason to change anything here. We have another pink shiny with Aipom. It seems like this shiny is generally given the thumbs up by fans, so we're giving this the stamp of approval in this video and moving on. After a streak of good shiny Pokemon, Sunkern and Zynflora are here to break the trend. They have the issue of barely changing from their original colors. For Sunkern, I think the shiny looking more like an actual sunflower seed would make the most sense. For Zynflora, the head could change to orange to reference the sunstone that was used for it to evolve. On the other hand, we have Yanma, who has an incredible shiny. Love the vibrant blue and green. Wooper's shiny changes the Pokemon to look like real-life axolotls, and that's incredible. Quagsire also gets a pink shiny to match Wooper, and it works pretty well. Espeon has a shiny that many people have said they severely dislike, though it seems like more and more people have grown an appreciation for it over time. The green is really giving extraterrestrial vibes, and I'm wondering if maybe more people would like it if the colors were just shifted a bit, like this. If the green still isn't your cup of tea, here's a shiny that was inspired by this comment by Drake Braun X, a sunset orange. Which of these shinies is your favorite? It's crazy that Espeon's shiny is so disliked, because Umbreon's shiny is basically universally loved. This shiny is an absolute favorite for so many people. Murkrow has a shiny that changes its body from black to pink. This is a nice change to make the Pokemon easy to shiny hunt. Slowking's shiny slightly shifts the pink color of the body and changes the red in the neck collar to blue. Not a huge difference there. I don't see why this Pokemon can't have the same shiny colors as its pre-evolution, Slowbro. Mischievous is given this off-yellow shiny, and opinions on it are pretty mixed. I personally am not a fan of it, so this is the one time in this video that I'm going to activate my rule, changing the shiny because of my own personal opinion. I did this with Flutter Mane in the Gen 9 shiny video as well, and like that video, I would personally like this shiny a lot more if it just used Miss Magus' colors. There are 28 forms for Unknown out there, and each one has the same blue shiny. Nothing too crazy, but it looks pretty good. Next up we have Wobbuffet. I guess if you're a fan of pink shinies, this is the generation for you. Pink Wobbuffet generally gets a thumbs up from fans. Girafarig has a shiny that only changes the color of the nose, spikes, and inside of the ears. For some people, this is perfectly fine, but for others it's not quite enough, and I think that's understandable. Farigiraf's shiny got a more positive reception, so I think doing something similar with Girafarig would work well. The blue parts can stay, but the body can change to this red color. Pineco and Forretress are two Pokemon that many think have actually had their shinies improved upon in Scarlet and Violet. Forretress in particular looks nice now that it has a cool golden texture to it. Dunsparce doesn't have the craziest shiny out there, but since fans seem to generally be cool with the Dunsparce's shiny, we're going to leave this one as is. Gligar being changed from pink to this cool blue-purple color is a nice change. It'll look great when evolving too. but that's something we can take a look at another day. Steelix is a Pokemon that I've heard a lot of people hope will come back in the Indigo Disc DLC. Fans want a shiny hunt for this Pokemon, since it's assumed that Steelix will get a nice golden texture to it like Fortress. Snubbull has a very unique shiny. I really enjoy the mix of all these colors. I'm not sure why Snubbull's shiny gets to be so dramatic, while Granbull's hardly changes. Since Granbull doesn't have as many markings or elements of its design, it can't be as colorful as Snubbull, but I think it can at least keep the pastel lavender body and maybe the magenta. Quillfish is one of the Pokemon this generation that got the pink treatment with its shiny. From the opinions I saw online, this is one of the most mixed opinion pink shinies this generation. If you're not digging the pink color, may I offer you this black and purple pufferfish instead? The black on the top is to reference naval mines, while the purple on the bottom is for the Pokemon's part poison typing. This would also make it look a bit more like Hisuian Quillfish. For those of you who are sad about the treatment green shinies got in the Gen 1 shiny review and fix video, don't fear. Scizor is here, and in this bright green to mix things up. This green shiny is very popular. When it comes to Shuckle, the shiny just has the shell change from red to blue. This tends to be enough for most people, and I've heard a few fans say it makes them think of blueberries or, from the games themselves, orangeberries. Heracross getting a pink shiny is interesting, because it works so well with the female Heracross in particular. The horn being shaped like a heart and the pink is super cute. When Pokemon get shinies that are vastly different from their original colors, it can really make fan opinions mixed. Sneasel is one of these Pokemon, with every single part of its body getting a completely new color with its shiny. You either really like or dislike this one. If this shiny isn't your cup of tea, here's a teal blue option that keeps the cool colors from the original and matches the ice typing. Plug your ears, green shiny fans, because we're talking about shinies for Teddiursa and Ursaring now. The pastel green used in Teddiursa's shiny makes it more well liked in general than the vibrant green used for Ursaring's shiny. I actually really like Teddiursa's shiny personally, but if we're going to change these, I want to keep things pastel for it. How about this pastel blue for Teddiursa and this darker blue for Ursaring? The darker blue is to reference the dark night sky. Sometimes, you'll catch a shiny Pokemon that you just don't want to evolve, because you don't like how it changes after evolving. For many fans, Slugma is one of those Pokemon. The color looks like Mercury or Ash. No, not that Ash. This kind of Ash. This completely goes away when it evolves into Magcargo, though. I think we need to see what Magcargo would look like if given the same treatment. I was kind of surprised to see how diverse the opinions on Swinub and Piloswine's shinies were. Because of this, I decided to create a new shiny idea for them. The fur is now a blue-gray, based on their ice typing and cold environment, while the little noses turn purple because of the cold. Corsola's shiny is well liked all around. I don't see any reason to change it. I think Remorai's shiny can be given a pass, as the change to purple seems to be liked well enough. But Octillery? Yeah, I've heard way too many people voice their dislike for this one, that I think it needs to be changed. What if we swap the orange-red body to the color most opposite, blue? If we give the suction cup parts an orange color, it would really make this shiny vibrant and stand out. With Delibird being given a shiny that is so similar in color to the original, I think it could use an update. Delibird is already made to be like the Pokemon version of Santa, so why don't we give its shiny a different Christmas color scheme? Mantine is another Pokemon with a shiny that is just too similar to the original. In Australia, researchers found this cool pink and black manta ray that they named Inspector Clouseau. Let's give this little guy some extra love and attention by giving Mantine's shiny the same colors. Skarmory is a Pokemon with a shiny that I think could potentially look cooler with the new textures in Scarlet and Violet. But for now, it's another shiny with really varied opinions. Maybe it would be liked a bit more if the main body color was a more obvious golden color, with the wings that emphasize the warm colors instead. Houndour and Houndoom get some pretty cool shinies, with the bodies changing to a blue color. Another Pokemon with a pretty good shiny is Kingdra, who gets changed to purple. Phanpy is such an adorable Pokemon. It makes me sad that the shiny doesn't do it justice. I think making Phanpy a pink elephant wing shiny would be very cute, and that can also be applied to Donphan, who has a shiny that's gotten mixed reviews. This was even kind of done in Pokemon Stadium too. Porygon 2 has one of the best shinies this generation for sure. Anytime this Pokemon is in a game, it's a necessary shiny hunt. Snarler gets the toxic green shiny color that we saw a lot in Gen 1. If the shiny was changed to gray, it could reference the Hisuian evolution. Smeargle's shiny is yet another one that is liked just about as much as it's disliked. I think a fun idea for this painter Pokemon is to utilize the 3 primary colors, red, blue, and yellow, into the shiny, since these can create every color other than black and white. We're getting back to more baby Pokemon, starting with Tyrogue and a new evolution, Hitmontop. Fortunately, these shinies are pretty good, which is a nice change for these baby Pokemon. Unfortunately, Tyrogue is kind of the only good shiny baby Pokemon from this generation. Smoochum here, for example, barely changes. We made Jinx's shiny a variety of blues to reflect the ice typing, so let's go with that here as well. You'd really need to use the auto battle mechanic in Scarlet and Violet to find yourself a shiny Elekid. I don't know how you could tell the difference between the shiny and the original in the wild otherwise. We gave Electabuzz a blue shiny with yellow markings before, so I did the same thing for Elekid. Magaby's shiny isn't as bad as Elekid, but it could still use some work. Just like Elekid, I changed this one to look like the Magmar shiny I created already. Miltank changes from pink to blue with their shiny, with the hood and hooves shifting over to a brown color. This is a shiny I wouldn't have guessed for a cow Pokemon, but I like it, as well as plenty of other fans. We're already at another Pokemon with a shiny that doesn't change much, with Blissey. Alter Ego Cole made a suggestion on our last shiny video that Blissey's shiny could change to red and white to match hospital colors, and I think that's so fitting with Blissey acting as a nurse in the anime. Let's take a look at the whole legendary beast trio next. Out of the 3, it seems like Entei's shiny is the one more fans are kind of iffy about. However, it seems like for the most part, fans are happy with how these 3 turned out. They might be more subtle than some of the other shinies we've seen, but the colors really help to make them look majestic. It's pseudo-legendary time. Each stage of this line seems to get a different opinion from fans. Larvitar is considered to be the weakest, with the green becoming a bit more saturated. Tyranitar's shiny, from what I saw online, was actually in the middle, with it being considered just okay overall, and Pupitar is generally considered the best of the bunch. I think Tyranitar is a Pokemon that definitely deserves a cool shiny. We saw how nice the silver and green worked on Iron Thorns, so I changed Larvitar and Tyranitar's shinies to gray and green. To make Pupitar match, I made the color look more like the green in Tyranitar's original coloring. The box legendaries are up next, and man did Game Freak do a good job with these. The blue parts of Lugia just shifting to a reddish pink actually works really well. And don't even get me started on Ho-Oh's shiny. I think out of all of the Gen 2 Pokemon, this is my absolute favorite. We're ending this video on a great note with Celebi and its shiny. It's nice to see this generation that had so many pink shinies end off on a fabulous pink shiny for this mythical Pokemon. It's hard not to like this one. Which shiny Pokemon is your favorite from Gen 2? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!